What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros. We got a special morning live show with Tim. That's what makes it special. I'm gonna let you guys know the point of this video is to cover all the breaking news that has happened within the last, let's call it like 6 to 7 hours. Because even though the most relevant news, and we're going to be covering the jobs data that just came out, we also have other reasons potentially to be watching the Bitcoin and crypto prices. We've seen surges in a lot of altcoins that we predicted on this channel. I'm going to talk about that and a lot more. The goal of this video is to get in and out. Let's try to do it in 20 minutes, guys. I don't want this to be long. This is in place of a morning video, but I do think that this information is the most important. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in here. If you guys are excited, smash the like, hit subscribe. Some people are freaking out right now, and the reason why is because they're looking at a chart like on a 10-minute. Now, we're actually rallying here over the last 20 minutes, but they saw this big candle on a 10-minute chart where we went all the way from flirting with 72,000. Didn't quite touch it, at least on the Coinbase account. And then within 10 to 15 minutes, we fell all the way down to 70,500, nearly a $1,500 price fall. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why that is, but we're going to have some clarification here. I told you guys yesterday, watch out for the non-farm payroll, the jobs data. Why did I say data again? I don't know why I keep saying that, because I've always pronounced this data. It's just something weird. If you guys have not seen this, I've been tweeting about it this morning. This is something that's very, very big. Non-farm payroll, meaning jobs being created. Previously was 165,000. You guys see right there. Consensus was it was going to increase to 185,000, even though the forecast was it would go lower to 151. But ultimately, it rallied as high as 272,000 new jobs in the month of May. Other positive things technically for the economy, that's theoretically speaking negative for Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin fell $1,500, why crypto cooled off. Average hourly earnings up from expectation, up to 0.4%, even though they only expected 0.3. The yearly up 4.1, even though they only expected 3.9. So ultimately, those are the things that are economically positive that would cause people to think, okay, if the jobs are getting so good, why would Jerome Powell lower interest rates? I mean, ultimately, that's one of the biggest factors right now that we're watching is there's an anticipation that by September, and this is drastically falling this morning. Yesterday, it was sitting way up at 70%, but there's a thought maybe by September we could get interest rate cuts, and there's still some people predicting that, and especially as you move towards November and December, there's only at this point 10% saying we won't have a cut on CME futures by the end of this year. But either way, when I look at these numbers coming out this high cause people to potentially think, all right, never mind, we're not going to get rate cuts this year. We don't need them as much. Jerome Powell is not going to feel forced to cut rates and follow after the EU and Canada. So that is why Bitcoin's cooling off a little bit. But there's a number right here that's very important. This is the unemployment rate. Expected to be 3.9, just like the month of April. It came out the highest it has been since 2022, up at 4%. And there's an account on Twitter this morning, Zero Heads. You guys should be following him. I did comment on it. If you follow me on Twitter, make sure you follow me at Tims_TA. But this, he highlights a very key detail on the reports that you need to know about. I told you guys in our Discord, the jobs are up, but there's a catch. Well, what is that catch? When you jump into the data, full-time workers, meaning people working at least 30 hours a week or more, are actually down 625,000, but part-time workers are up 286. Now, I don't know how the math checks out there. Either way, even though the non-farm payroll is saying that we are up in jobs massively, the reality of it, the reason why unemployment is rising is because most people can't support their families simply based off of part-time work. And yet that's the number that's in a very fake way pumping these job numbers, making people think that the economy is strong. Ultimately, while we're in a little bit of, some volatility this morning on here on the 10-minute chart, I still think that this could be long-term bullish. In fact, I got to go out here all the way to the 4-hour chart. When you go to the 4-hour chart, this really isn't that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. We have not come back below even where we were just a couple of days ago down here at 70,000. And ultimately, we got a lot of support that we just wicked down to with a breaker block on Bitcoin that keeps me still very positive about Bitcoin moving to the upside. Now, would it have been nicer if that job payroll was lower? Would that have been the reason we shoot up to 75,000? Some people even think maybe 83,000. Absolutely. We didn't get as good of news for Bitcoin as we could have. However, before anyone starts freaking out and saying, uh-oh, here we go, Bitcoin is crashing, just zoom out for a second. Take a look at the charts. It really isn't that big of a deal. We'll go more in depth on the TA later on this afternoon at our normal 3 p.m. live show. I told you guys the point of this live stream is to kind of cover the big details, get in, get out. Let's talk about some of those stories and reasons why you should stay bullish. Now, this article is from 3 hours ago, before the jobs data. Remember yesterday, I told you guys it wasn't just the jobs data that had the potential to rally Bitcoin. It was the options expiry, and that level was sitting at about 69,500. Well, we ended up staying above it. So that's one reason to stay bullish, because more than $2.2 billion worth of Bitcoin options that could have expired and gone kaputs, they are still active in pushing Bitcoin to the upside. Some other things that I wanted to cover as far as Bitcoin. Arthur Hayes has adjusted his Bitcoin outlook. He isn't giving us a new price prediction, but whereas he was waiting necessarily for August to say that we should have some bullish price action, I don't need to look at that actually at the second because I didn't highlight anything on that article. He's now saying, you know what, the minute we get some positive news about potential rate cuts, that's when Bitcoin will start going parabolic and start making its way towards 100,000. Now, again, this was written before his opinion was given, probably with the expectation that the job data would be a little worse than it was. Ultimately, though, I want to see how the rest of the day plays out. We've had some knee-jerking reactions right now to the numbers being higher, but when more and more people get a hold of that data that I showed you, that in reality, full-time jobs are down, it's the part-time jobs that are up, and unemployment is up to the highest it's been since, I think it's May of 2022, that could cause some people to be a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin. Ultimately, I think the next thing we're watching for on this kind of up and down roller coaster of emotions as far as rate cuts go, we want to hear how Jerome Powell speaks on this whole issue. And before I move on from this topic, because we're going to move on here, we got to talk about altcoins here as well, because there's some altcoins pumping right now. I want to make sure you guys understand. I am not saying that 100% we're going to get a rate cut by the end of 2024. I know amazing people that I listen to, like Caleb Franzen, are still holding fast that it looks like right now we're at least 6 months out from the next rate cut. It doesn't matter, though. The price action does not matter what actually will happen, and I'll explain that. We can predict whether rate cuts come or don't go, or come or don't come. Ultimately, though, charts like this, if I share my screen again, charts like this, if we start to see this increasing and September increasing the probability of getting a rate cut by then, whether we actually get one in September or not, if people believe that there's a good chance one will come, we will see prices of Bitcoin and altcoins explode to the upside. What could happen is we could see, I think I ran through this yesterday, we could see the price of Bitcoin shoot to the upside thinking that September is going to be a rate cut, and then something changes. Jerome Powell comes out in September and says, you know what, we were close, but we decided not to do it. And then all of a sudden, those rate cuts that were baked into price, the price will cool off a little bit because we didn't get what we wanted, right? That's what I mean by it does not matter what people think, or it doesn't matter what will actually happen. The price follows what people think will happen. So make sure that you're addressing and thinking through that when you make investments. Don't be headstrong and say, guys, it is not going to happen. We're not going to see a rate cut before the end of 2024. As long as people think there will be one, price could continue to the upside. Now, before I move on into those altcoins, I think we're doing pretty good. We're only about 9 minutes in here. I'm going to talk about some altcoins. I did want to address something yesterday because on the show, there was a debate about this article about Robert Kiyosaki's prediction of 350,000. Some people said he predicted 2025. I said, you know what? I didn't see a date on the article I was reading. If anyone could change my mind, show me some evidence, I was all about it. Well, an article came out about an hour ago that is quoting Robert Kiyosaki as saying 350,000 by August 25th, 2024. There you have it, guys. So if you watched yesterday's show and we were unsure about what Robert Kiyosaki's take was, 2025, I still thought it was unrealistic, but at least it was closer to realistic. This is still a very ludicrous article right here. So I just want to kind of back that up before we move forward. Before I let you go, though, let's talk about some altcoins that are going explosive right now. And almost all of these coins are ones that we have talked about on the show recently, saying, hey, guys, keep an eye out for a breakout. First one on the list, hotly debated. Some people love it, some people don't. But Cardano, since the opening of yesterday's daily candle, and this is a 4-hour chart right here, it was up at one point almost 7%. It's back down to 4.3, but Cardano making a push after being kind of locked in around 44 to 45 cents. Cardano is making a push right now. I told you guys, look for some resistance at first around 50 cents. And then if we do get some form of a breakout on Cardano, I'm actively in a long right now on Cardano, where I'm looking for a move up to this order block within the daily chart, take profit here around 60 cents. And again, we're seeing that momentum start to take off for Cardano. One of the reasons why that might be is because of this new relationship that Cardano IOHK just formed with Argentina, very similar to the one they formed with Ethiopia back in 2021. Cardano continues just to say, you know what? We don't care what the critics think. We're going to keep on humming, and we're going to continue to fight for major countries who have been disenfranchised and the freedom of the individual has been taken away. We're going to fight to provide decentralized, strong currencies for these countries, and we see them continue to tackle that. That might be one of the reasons why Cardano is pumping a little bit this morning. Another coin that's pumping, I told you guys keep an eye on, was ICP. Remember, we've been talking about this for a while. I told you I did not think that sell signal on the daily chart was going to last. I liked the support levels that we were at, and take a look here on the 4-hour chart. We're starting to break out with big volume. I told you guys, when we break out, look for the volume to come in. That's exactly what we've seen here on ICP. We have a take profit at the moment between 13.57 and about 14.39 on the 4-hour chart. But what I want to watch is if we continue this momentum, can we pick up some steam on the daily chart? Look for ICP to make a move back up above $16. We've been warning you, keep an eye on ICP. Another one I told you guys to keep an eye on, and we're going to kind of go out of order here on my chart, but TIA. I told you guys the other day, TIA was sitting on a breaker block. Even on the 4-hour chart, we bounced off of a breaker block. It is up 4% so far today. Keep an eye on a potential move up here, this order block around 1172. I told you guys this yesterday. Do not sleep on TIA. It had a lot of support beneath it. Sure enough, it's taken off this morning. We also have Stacks that continues to explode out of that falling wedge pattern. Even if I turn off Lux Algo, here we go. We told you guys about that falling wedge pattern. I still have a target up above $3 for Stacks. You want to keep an eye on. It continues to explode this morning. Jasmy Coin, another one that I actually the other day live told you guys, hey, do I think it's getting to $10? Absolutely not. That's ludicrous. But guess what? It's rallying today, continues to move to the upside. Now, again, it's hitting some take profit levels here. But when I looked at the oscillators, I did say, all right, we have a little bit further to go to the upside. And until I see the daily chart start to keel over and show me some negative signs like on the MACD and the Lux Algo oscillator, we could continue to tear up for Jasmine. This is one I would not be surprised, though, however, if we did pull back at least a little bit. Keep an eye around a pullback to about 3.4 cents on Jasmy Coin, but that one continues to tear to the upside. I still think it's got a long way. I think I gave a price prediction on the show. I'm going to have to do an updated one on a video later on the channel, but $10 is ridiculous. $3, not that crazy. And guess what? That still would be a very, very, very big rally here for Jasmy Coin. Another coin, though, so those are the ones that we've called here on the channel recently. We've said, hey, guys, look out for these coins. They have a lot of bullish action in the next couple of days and weeks. One that I have not talked about, but we need to, it's one of the bigger movers of the top 10 and has recently broken out of a resistance level, and that would be SEI Say. Had a nice couple of candles here on the 4-hour chart, bouncing off that 4-hour blue cloud smart trail. Now, there's a big order block with the take profit coming in very close here on 56 cents. But let's see what the daily chart is saying. We have just now today printed a daily bullish candle on Lux Algo, Guess where that takes us to? We have a breaker block and the red smart trail cloud right there coming in with some confluence around 80 cents. That's a lot of room left sitting at 55 for say to keep moving. You got yourself close to a 45% increase on that trade. I'm actually going to tell you right now, I'm not going to do it live because I want to save time here. I'm probably going to be entering a long on say this morning just because of that. Keep an eye on the charts. Again, we'll be back this afternoon. We'll break things down a whole lot more. If you enjoyed this episode, if you love that TA, make sure to go check out Lux Algo. It has been crushing it on calls recently. It's one of the reasons why I am profitable on about 90% of my trades. Also, when you purchase Lux Algo, link down below, not only do you get the best trading indicator there is out there, you also can get access to my VIP trading group where daily we discuss and teach people not only how to trade, but look at the right ones that are coming down the pipeline. You'll want to be a part of it. Check out the link down below. Short but sweet. That's our live stream for this morning. Smash the like button on your way out if you enjoyed the episode. Come back at 3 p.m. for a longer, we'll have more Q&A at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this afternoon. We go live every single weekday at 3. With that said, though, love you guys. That's all I got for you. See you this afternoon.
Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.